Okay, guys, so here is the lesson 1 homework practice. This is in that March folder. And again, you can do these by hand. You can just follow along with me as I'm doing them. But if you remember, parallelograms are the exact same, really, as rectangles. If I kind of cut this off and move it over here, it's a rectangle. So if you remember, before we left school, it was length times width, or base times height to find those areas. So on these, we are just going to be counting to see how long and how tall they are. So if you look here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 long, and then it is 3 tall, if you look how tall it is. So it's a 7 by 3, and a 7 by 3, if we're talking about area, would be 21 units. And remember, we say squared. So this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 5 long by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. Remember, we go from bottom to top. It's not the slanted line. So a 5 by 5, we would have an area of 21 units squared. So we'll do this one together, and then I'm going to pause, and I'm going to let you guys try these 3, and then when I come back, I'm going to have the answers for these 3 written down, okay? So this one, it's 11 by 9, so we have 99 units squared on that one. So I want you guys to try these 3 and then start the video again. So pause it, and then we will come back and we'll talk about those 3. So if you came back here, we've got 8 times 4, which is 32 units squared. It's still base times height. Base times height here, we have 9.5 by 5 1/3. So hopefully you brought your calculators home when the school was open. Maybe you grabbed those. And if you didn't, you can use any device calculator or a calculator on like your computer or another calculator that you may have at home. Oh, I just typed that in wrong. So 9 1/2 times 5 1/3. We have 50 2/3, or you might have 50.66 or something of that sort, depending on if you use decimals. And then this one, we've got decimals here, so you have 59.3 times 24.9, and that is going to be 1,476.57 units squared. So again, just doing base times height. Now, if looking at these two, what do you guys think we might do with these two in order to find the area of just the shaded region? So if you're thinking that you would take the area of the big region and then subtract out that area, you are correct. So let's go ahead and do the area of this shaded rectangle. So 31 times 18. And again, at any point, if you want to pause and solve that, just to make sure that you're following along, that's fine. You don't have to play this straightforward. So the whole area of this one is 558. Now, we've got this parallelogram in here, and remember, he is still just base times height. So we have 13 times 6, which is 78. And this is almost like a donut where there's a hole missing, so we're going to take that off. We're going to subtract that. And you should get 480 millimeters squared. So that's your answer for that one. Okay, and then we have the base is 21. Height, remember, is always straight up and down. You don't have to cut it. It's just 21 times 12. And you get 252. And then the area of this rectangle inside, we've got 7 times 13 is 91. We're taking that away. So 252 minus 91, we get 161 units squared. Now, these ones on the bottom, you're more than welcome to try on your own if you would like. And if you want to check your answers, just message me. That's fine. I can gladly, or you can post them below. Especially if you have any questions, you can always post those in the discussion below, and either a classmate can answer or I can answer. So that's this page. Now let's go ahead and look at the triangle page. So if you remember from before we left, triangles are different. It is length times width, but I have to do what? I'm hoping you're saying divide by 2. So triangles are half of a rectangle, so we're going to divide that by 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 long, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 tall. Well, if it's 7 times 4, that's 28, but it's a triangle, we have to divide by 2, so you would have 14. This triangle, the base is kind of on its side here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Height is always from bottom to the top. So that's 35, and 35 divided by 2, we would get 17.5 if you're using your calculator. And again, you can pause at any point if because I'm just going through this obviously as instructional, but you can pause, play, rewind, do what you need to. Kind of unlike what you can do in class, right? So we've got 12 by 10, so that's 120, but I'm using a triangle, so I'm cutting it in half. We get 60. So I want you guys to try these three. Remember, base times height, and we cut it in half. So base times height divided by 2. So go ahead and try these three again. If you need to pause it, come back to check it. That is perfectly fine. So if we look at this one, 34 times 14 divided by 2, you should get 238 inches squared. This one, you're going to use fractions again in that calculator. So we have 9.5 times 19 1/4. Triangle, we're going to divide by 2, and we are going to get 91 7/16. And then right here we have decimals. We've got 4.9 times 23.7, and we are going to get 116.13. Oh, wait, I forgot to divide by 2. Make sure you divide by 2, and you are going to get 58.065. So let me check this one to make sure I divided by 2. I was very distracted there, as we, of course, have kids in the house and everybody else in the house. Yep, no, I did. I divided by 2. So, good. These are all divided by 2, so make sure you do that. Again, if you want more practice, you're welcome to work on these down here. This one's kind of a challenge problem if you want to try it. This one you would have to find the area of these separate ones. So if you read this over here, you'd have to kind of figure that out, and you're more than welcome to try that. And again, you're more than welcome to post those answers if you want in the discussion section. If you guys want to talk about it as a class, that's fine as well. So make sure that you follow the lesson plans fully. This is just the instructional video, and every week I'll try to post an instructional video that just has some practice with it. And then the rest of the week you can kind of just go through, but please don't hesitate to ask questions, okay? It was good to have class today, guys.